Good afternoon, everyone. Now we'll be in a couple of minutes going to start with. My name is Ashish Chatterjee. I'm Google Certified Level 1 and Level 2 Educator. Let me share my screen and give you a slight idea. And today's session will be going to discuss about Google LIT trip. So let all the audience join in and then we'll discuss more about this area. So let me quickly share my screen and we'll be going to start with quickly with the audience. So I'll just request ma'am to just allow my screen to be appear on the screen. So this is the my introduction, and this is the today's our the topic for Google LIT trip. And now regarding this trip, what we can do, let's discuss first, audience, because a lot of things you have over here. So before that, this is me, Ashish Chatterjee. I am a Google Certified Educator Level 1 and Level 2, and along with that, I have completed the Adobe Certified Education also for the Level 1 area. So we will be discussing plenty of the things about today's Google LIT trip, how we can start with it, and what's the use of it, what is the total outcome of it, why to use it in education sector, these all the kind of LIT trip, or let's say if you include in your classroom area, what is the outcome of it, why do we require a LIT trip, means अगर हम क्लासरूम में एलआईटी ट्रिप यूज करते हैं तो उसका यूज क्या है, हमें जरूरत क्या है एलआईटी ट्रिप्स की. So there are plenty of the areas, and audience, trust me, this is going to be an eye opener for a lot of us, and it will be a very challenging and as well as very entertaining show, or you can say the experience to learn a lot of things. So let's check, we'll be move forward and let's have a look on certain area. So this is the way you can start any of the LIT trip. So if you can just check on the screen, I have the blue arrow which is marking towards a site name called googlelittrips.org. So this is the site area where if we click, we'll be going to land on Google LIT trip, and I'll be going to explain you each and everything. But let's understand first of all why exactly the LIT trips being created and what's the purpose behind creation of these LIT trip, and how exactly in our Google Classroom or even in our blended learning how we can use it. Like these days, as the all the institutions of India and as well as the other part of the countries or other part of the world is already open. So how we can use the Google LIT trip for the education sector and as well as for other area. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप इसको खाली हिस्ट्री के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं या किसी एक टॉपिक कंटेंट के वाइज आप यूज कर सकते हैं, आप इसको किसी भी तरीके से यूज कर सकते हैं. बट फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ये है क्या, or exactly what is the LIT trip, how it's functioning over there. So let's have a look first on that. So let me first give a little bit brief demo about it, and then we'll come to this area. So पहले मैं आप लोगों को सबको दिखाता हूँ कि ये वर्क कैसे करता है, and then let us start in that, please. So this is the thing. If you just check on my screen, there is a Google LITtrips.org site. Fine. And in this site area, we can go and we can request. But let me first show you what exactly it is. So let me take you to Google Earth. Already I've requested it. It's already over here. So let me show a part of it. मैं पहले आप लोगों को दिखा देता हूँ कि इससे होता क्या है. For example, you can check right now. This is at the view only mode itself. When I click on present, it will be going to start with that. You can see the table of content. It's showing 1 out of the 48. So this is the very first slide, and it's a kind of a storytelling along with the entire content. ये पूरा अपने आप में पूरी स्टोरी को बोलेगा, and at the same time will be moving around from one part of the world or the story, the area where the character will be moving, and we will be keep on traveling with the character to the different part of area. So if you just check right now, if I have clicked on the tree, so you will be going to see I am right now traveling towards the Yankee Academy, where exactly our character is starting. So this one which I'm showing you right now, that is Percy Jackson and the Olympians. So slightly let's have a look कि Google LIT trip होता क्या है और इससे हमको यूज क्या मिल सकता है अपने क्लासरूम में अगर हम इसको अपने क्लासरूम में यूज करते हैं. पहला जो सबसे बड़ा पॉइंट है, you can check as it's a part of the Google Earth. तो लोड होने में थोड़ा टाइम लग सकता है. So what you need is at least you can load it a little early before commencing also your class. You can check a certain part of it which is up to the mark. You can show the those all the content, and certain content you can escape on that part. As and when I've clicked on the next button, you can see quickly my Google Earth is turning around and moving towards a next part of the area as per the character and as per the movement of that, how our character is evolving, how the character is moving ahead based on the storyline, it's moving ahead. So let's say suppose in this area if I want to interact, so you can see I'm just right now revolving. मैं अपने माउस के कर्सर से रिवॉल्व कर रहा हूँ और at the same time जो हमारा बैकग्राउंड है और स्पेस एरिया we can show to our students and as well as make our class more interactive and interesting. So we can select any novel, we can select any part of the things, whether that is for English, whether that is for history, whether that is for maths. So all subject we have different LIT trip. You can request for it, and those requests can be maintained from the Google side, and after a certain time Google will send you the link which will be available on your email ID. Once you click on that link, you will be jump start with the your LIT trip. So first I'm giving you a preview how exactly the LIT trip look like, what is the use of it, how exactly you can interact and show in your class, what is the use of it. Like you can see during this entire process or entire this journey, you can see a lot of Metropolitan Museum of Art is there, and all the character and all the things are there that are pretty much live on this area. So these days class, if you are keep on talking and your students are monotonous sitting over there, it's not be going to make sense. So we are over there a kind of a artist, we need over there our students to enact, and those students, those who are in our class, they will be going to take part when we follow a criteria called 80-20. That meaning is 80% students should involve, they should do the work, and 20% only the teacher should talk. सो आई नो ये पहले सुनने में काफी अजीब लग सकता है कि क्लासरूम में टीचर का रोल बहुत ही कम रहना चाहिए और बच्चों को इंटरेक्ट सबसे ज्यादा करना चाहिए. I know when we are right now on a phase of opening our classrooms, and we are on a process of where the students will be live on the class, or maybe certain area they are live on the campus itself. So basically ये सारे चीजों को implement करना थोड़ा मुश्किल हो सकता है, but you can take help of computer lab or maybe the one session where you may interact with your students. You can have history class, you can have GP class, you can have all sort of the different classes where based on a storyline, or let's say based on a character, you can show interact with your students. They can go through, simply you have to share the link, they can go through at their own pace. Like for example, let's say अगर 10 बच्चे हैं, 10 बच्चों का सारा स्पीड एक जैसा नहीं हो सकता है. किसी की ग्रेस्पिंग स्पीड कुछ अलग होगी, किसी की ग्रेस्पिंग स्पीड थोड़ी ज्यादा होगी. तो उनके लिए अगर हम ये लिंक शेयर करें, मे बी व्हाट दे कैन डू इज दे कैन गो अ लिटिल फास्टर स्पीड, दे कैन गो लिटिल मोर फास्टर स्पीड, दे कैन चेक द थिंग, दे कैन गो फॉर द स्ट्रीट एरिया, वॉक through those area as per the character, or maybe they can go through the part how the way the entire street is look like. So you can see this is so interactive, but at the same time stick towards the subject what you have chose for your 40 minutes lecture, or let's say 45 minutes lecture to interact with. All the students will be interacting, they will be able to check the thing how the character is moving ahead. तो आप देख सकते हैं साइड बार में there are description about the character and as well as the novel over there, how exactly the character is moving around one part of the world or maybe moving towards his journey. So you can see the entire journey is already crafted, and in that area you have lot of things. You have lot of KML files. These KML file and as well as KMZ files are part of Google Earth. If you just check, this is right now running inside the Google Earth only. So now you have over here one of the car story, and the part of this how the way in 1978 camera what the way they have drive, what all the way those things are, those all the part is mentioned. You can see even in media it's mentioned like red line at the very end of the long island is for Montague. So we can have all sort of history, all sort of discussion. Students can check, they can interact, they can go through the entire part, and they can live that particular moment, or they can live with that moment, what exactly happened in history, or maybe what particular things happen in that particular area. It might be very useful for all audience and as well as for students to interact with. So you can see there are a place like en route to summer camp, and you can see a lot of things are there. The way you can see, one more thing is there, like you can see that right now it is showing 72%, 94%. So it depends upon your internet connectivity and internet speed also. If our internet speed is slightly high, then only the Google Earth or LIT trip can be fruitful, because the thing is lot of the data, lot of the things are going to load, and as per the storyline the things will be there which we have to explain, and the students can take a walk, they can have a look how the things are. So it is pretty much a kind of an interactive thing as per our storyline and as per our class line itself. What all the things are there, you can discuss, you can go ahead, you can create those things. So I'll be showing today's in our entire webinar how exactly you can request for one of the Google LIT trip, and after requesting a Google LIT trip, how you can start that one, and maybe let's say you want to share that Google LIT trip with your students, so you can share that one, and plenty of the area you will be able to get a lot of effect on that. So altogether the thing is, it is kind of an area where as soon as you will cover one portion of it, you will be moving ahead next chapter of the story. Like you can see the table of content area, we have already covered the 15, and now we are moving towards the 16 of 48. So you will have a perfect idea. Let's say suppose my lecture is for 40 minutes, so within the 40 minutes I have to finish all the 48 things, or let's say the 30 things, or maybe a part of it. So you can time divide your entire session, your entire lecture, as per the Google LIT trip is moving on. So you can see here we have the rest of the thing like Long Island Railroad. So it will be going to show the entire railroad and the way how exactly the entire journey take place. So everything is mentioned, and you can see how nicely it is going from one part of the world to the other part of the world. But again, I'll repeat one thing, you need a very high internet bandwidth speed. You can check on my screen right now, it is 50% loaded. So how fast your internet bandwidth speed will be, based on that the Google LIT trip is going to function, and it will be going to show all those things in very quick manner. If your internet is slightly lagging, so maybe movement around that area or maybe showing around that area will be slightly difficult, because you can see on this area we are right now on side trip. You can see the original location which is shown over here. This is for the Greek area itself, the for Greek how exactly they have visited the Oracle area. So all those informations are provided. We just need to click a next slide, and you can see like how fast it is going towards that thing. And you can see the next part as is mentioned, the bus station. So it is mentioned like he handed me the sneaker which look pretty normal, they even smell kind of normal, Luke said Maya. So exactly the storyline, जो एक कैरेक्टर सारे लाइंस बोल रहा है, you can show it to your students and as well as even the kids, those who want to take a LIT trip. Maybe on a part of a pandemic time, lot of us we cannot travel, right? So these area the LIT trips play a very crucial role. You can take a novel based on the LIT trip, and you can request. After the request, once you get the things, you can go around and have an entire journey towards that part. So you can check right now, it's showing even the distance also, it's showing the entire parameter also. So let me quickly show you how exactly I have come across the entire this area, how exactly I've landed up on this Percy Jackson and the Olympian, this Google LIT trip, and how exactly our audience or all of you, those who are watching us right now live, and in fact those who will be watching us later on in our entire stream area, they can also follow the same those steps in order to go and check for how they can launch the LIG trip. So let me show you this stepwise, and then we'll be move ahead for that area. So this is my slide. You can quickly check on this area. The very first thing what we need is we need to go to the Google LIT trips in this site area. Once you browse through this, you have all grades area. Like for example, grade 5, grade 6, grade 7. So certain novels or certain storylines or books are available to it. Once you click on that, you can request. The request will be granted from the Google site, and you will get a link on your email ID. So basically, let me give you a quick idea what is the meaning of LIT trip, and can any one of us create a LIT trip? Is it possible for us to create that, or it's very hard, or how exactly any normal or area, if you request for it, will it be possible to get it within 10 minutes or 5 minutes? What will the process of it? So let me quickly take you to next slide and show you the part of it. As soon as you get a link on your email ID, you have to click on that link. Once you click on that link, it will be going to launch on the Google Earth area. So how entire thing is going to work, how the entire thing is going to function, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to give you a live demo. So please make sure you check properly, and even on the area, if you get a slight confused on the area itself, you can quickly write on the chat, and let us just now check on this part how we can request for one of the LIG trip. So let me just quickly take you to the main site. So this is the area. I hope you can able to check on my screen. This is the Google ligtrip.org. Fine. Now you have a one option called request a LIG trip. So if you click on this area, you can immediately request one of the trip in format of book on in format of novel itself. Now you can see a certain titles are already kept over here, like for example grade 5 onwards, then grade 6 to 8 title onwards, grade 9 to 12 title onwards. So let me click on it and give you the slight idea on this area so you can check. This is the LIG trip library. We have plenty of the library over here. One of the book you will click immediately, the particular information will be over here. As soon as you will click on that book area, it will take a slight amount of time to load. Once it loaded, you will get an entire idea and concept about it. So quickly you can go through these books which you find very interesting as per your topic, or let's say as per your particular subject which you want to taught, so you can request for that. So again, I'll suggest how exactly you can start any sort of these way and how the entire process will be. Let's say suppose related to physics, related to maths, related to any of these area you want, you can just click on that. The book will be available to it. You can just check what all the entire content are over there, and once you get to understand, okay, this is the one what I am looking for, then you can go for request a LIT trip. Because audience, you must understand, if we are not sure about what kind of content we want to show to our classroom, we may not be able to request a correct novel. So you have to select first a perfect particular novel or particular one of the book which you want to show to your classroom area. So you can check here, we have plenty of the things, like for example here we have all these books. So any books you can click and their information will be over here. So I'm showing you on a screen, and you can have a look. Like we have here all different type of the books. You can check. Let's say suppose you want to show the World War II location area, farewell, all the things. So these all the things. So you can check. Now once you are satisfied with your selection, let's say suppose you want to go for this, then you can go ahead and click on request a LIT trip. This is the portion, or this is the area from where you can request for any of the trip. And once you request any trip over here, once you give your email ID and as well as select a title properly, you will be going to get after a 5 minute one of the kind of email just like what I'm showing you on my screen. Let me zoom a little bit part so that you can quickly check. See, this is the one on my screen. You requested Google LIG trip, and then it's showing me the entire this. You can check like I have requested it pretty much a little time before, so you can see 2 hours ago this link is. So this link you can share even to your class, even in your classroom area, and they will be available. So let me do a live testing and give it to you how much time exactly it take to load any of the file. So let us just quickly see what we want to request and whether that is available or not. So let's see, we selected a World War II location, this one, and we want to request for this LIT trip. Once we click on that area, this is the one, you click on request LIG trip. Once you click on request LIG trip, it will be going to show this way. The email will arrive, the message will be there, that kind like here, that an email will arrive soon with a web link that will open a requested Google LIG trip to view in Google Earth. So make sure all of you need to understand that Google Earth is going to facilitate the entire our LIT trip journey. If you have a slow bandwidth speed, or let's say if your bandwidth speed is not that well, so I am slightly not means convince you on this area to move ahead, because the reason is in your classroom if you are showing it, if you have a very good bandwidth speed, then only the Google Earth will load and then it can show you the entire thing. So I'm going to do the runtime testing. I'm going to show you in runtime whether how much time it can actually take. So let me go to my Google Gmail account. I'll click on inbox and you can see I have already got the link of it. So you can see I have just requested a link in front of all of you, and it took a marginal, let's say 1 minute or 2 minute time only, and then immediately I got the this link. If I click over here, let's have a look. Now the main actual work is, as we are right now streaming live, and we are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, on all the area, so it will slightly going to take time. So I'm showing it runtime so that you all can get a quick idea that how much time it can take in your own live classroom, or maybe let's say if you're taking your class on campus, so how much time it can take such that you can plan those all the movement, maybe for engaging your student with the help of certain other activity. Maybe you can give them a Google form to ask about certain questions till the time your Google Earth is loading on this area. So let me quickly show you with the help of present button. So now when entire your LIG trip is loaded, you need to just click on present area. Now this present is going to show the entire content what we have in our entire LIT trip. So let us just click on present and you will be able to see that we'll be going to have entire look and as well as how a World War II locations and how the entire thing went. So you can check we have a 23 things in this area, and in a format of 3 book series it is moving ahead as per the character or the personality in this novel area is traveling through. The based on that it will be moving forward. So let's check what we have first. So you can see a very special student created Google LIG project. So this is one of the project created through one of the student by. So you can just check an authorized Google LIG featuring location and event from Hiroshima. So we have over here a lot of the content, lot of the things which will be checking it on screen. So let's check and see what we have next. So as I told you, all of you, the Google Earth is slightly heavy thing. So this is going to take time. Once you click on it, it will take a slight time to load, and let's check. So this is right now going to blast center. So you can check. This is one of the picture which is showing on screen. as a kind of picture you can see, and same way on Google Earth it's showing is over here. So what student can do, they can live interact on this area, they can 360 rotate it out entire thing, maybe they can just go through quickly this part, they can rotate the certain way, and how they want they can go ahead, they can check the thing. So we have pretty much these things also. What all they all, I'll quickly cover this point also and make you clear why exactly Google provided these all things. If you just check, this one is called as street view. So certain country, the due to the restriction, maybe the street view may not be allowed, fine, or the limited access area can be remained where satellite movement may not be that possible, or the area it may blur it out. So the street view can be available on certain area but not on all location. So if you click right on this area street view, it will be directly go to the street view, but you can check right now it is showing 2D not on the 3D area. So certain content from the countryside, they don't want to keep it that detailed, so that's why certain area you may not get all options. Now let's move ahead. As per our story, whatever our character is doing, based on that only we are checking the entire journey. So as our story area, the character is moved ahead to the next part. So you can check now we are on the next area. So here a lot of the buildings are there. You can check the buildings, and as well as if you scroll out, so you will be zoom out of that area. If you scroll in from the mouse, so you will be zoomed in the entire environment area. So this is very useful. Even on this area, if you click on table of content, you will be able to see which all area we will be traveling ahead. Like you can see in the entire area, it's given first the blast center, then you have East Parade Ground, then you have Red Cross building, then you have the mission house, then you have a park, then you have farewell to the character, what is traveling in our entire street. So let's quickly move ahead. I believe the audience, you must be very excited to know about all the things, right? Let me know in the comment area, and as well as you can like the video on YouTube and as well as the entire section of Mahattattva, so that you can come back, check this content. Let's say suppose certain area if you are unable to check properly, you can quickly go back in a video and check through that part. Now let's move to the next. As we click on the next, you can see we are right now moving to the Red Cross building. So as per our entire character, entire our journey or entire one novel, you can go through the part of it and then you can create. So I am thinking maybe after this session, maybe one or two audience, they can come ahead for the Chetan Bhagat area novel. They can create one of the LIT trip, and maybe they can have some sort of the work on the LIT trip area also. So far we don't have any such, I don't think so, anything from India which is over here. Maybe in future we may have one or two member who can contribute on this area, and your LIT trip can come ahead on this. So major concept of LIT trip is first your entire novel will be there or book will be there. As per your book character, how the character is moving ahead, the based on that you are marking in Google Earth those all the points. Like for example, let's say somebody from out of this webinar, they got very excited and they have a plenty of amount of time, they can straight away go to the Google Earth and LIT trip area based on the 3 Idiot movie and based on the 3.7 or that particular novel. I don't know right now the correct name. So maybe in that novel area, they can create an entire journey of the character. Once you drafted the character, you can go ahead, you can take a approval and send the entire request to Google team. Once it gets approved, then your entire Google LIT trip can be published on GLT store, provided you are not violating any copyright issues, you are not violating any person's content. You must give entire like credits to them, lot of source you should provide. Like you can check over here in this area, the media is mentioned and then they have given the source. So if you click on source, exact source will be notified over there, and they will be get credited or they will be get entire information about it. So you must use all the thing in a proper manner. then only your LIG trip can be validated from the Google side in order to go for GLT store, because the entire project is right now free. Anyone can use it. You don't have to pay anything. You can click on this area and you can check all those books which are available. Certain books or certain things may be not available to certain region because of certain restriction or certain things which you can check on the screen. If you see, we have a certain book name where it says temporary unavailable, so certain books may not be available. You have to check whichever the books you want to show it your class, and let's say suppose if it is part of your syllabus, something is connected on that area, so you can connect on that and you can create. So here how exactly they started the thing, you have pretty much all the information. If you want to be volunteer, you can click over here and you can become the volunteer as a part of GLT team in order to create your own project. But for that, you have to first fill the form. You can see here, you have to first give your first name, last name, email address, confirm email address, then your school or organization name. So all these details you have to fill it out. Once you give all the information, then you have to give all sort of the things, and once they validate, then you can move ahead. So you can see right now here we have in country India also. So anyone, those who are watching us live and as well as after this show, if you wish, you can apply for it and be a volunteer for them. And maybe someday we can have one Google LIT trip maybe out of India also. So I'm sure out of this particular webinar and even from Mahattattva, a lot of us can be get highly excited to create our own LIT trip, and maybe we can see near future maybe one or two LIT trip which is part of, or which is the area where how entire journey is taking place. So I'm going to show you rest all how, let's say in this, when we click next, you'll be able to check the character is moving in an entire story, one point of area to other point of area, and certain important things or certain important facts are getting highlighted over there with the picture. Once you read the picture, once you read the information, you will be able to get the entire information. So here I am solving the solution or doubt to everyone who may have doubt that what is the use of this thing. We can do it these all the thing in Google Earth also. So how exactly it is different from Google Earth to the latitude? So this is a quick solution or the answer to it. In Google Earth, you may not be able to get direct entire portion or maybe a character traveling from one part of area to other part of area, and as per the movement or the character journey, you may not be able to see in exact duration or timeline area. But with the help of Google LIT trip, you can go through those all the things. You can click on the next part and you will be quickly going towards a next particular segment of the book. If you check, now we have reached to the farewell to our character. Now if we click next, then we'll be moving ahead to Ocean Park. So let's have a look. So I'll be just going to off the table of content so you can see how it's loading. So you can check on the screen area like how it's showing the Long Beach, how it's showing the all the things, and same picture which is over here. You can see that that same picture is right now pretty much over here with the 3D area, or in 2D area. If you zoom it, it will further show on that area. If you have other particular book, there it will show more in detail. Like you can check on this area, we have pretty much in this format. You can go, this is other Google LIT trip. This one was the Percy Jackson one, and this one what I'm showing you, that is World War II location, that area. So we have a slight difference on both of them. As per the LIT trip is planned, based on that you can do the entire part. So we have all these information. You can check like 100-meter gap is there, how much you will zoom, it will show the part, but it will not be going to be that clear how we have for certain other countries. So you can see we can zoom a little bit and you can see pretty much all the things are there. Like live board is there, same way you have here all the kind of an. This is a seaside amusement park, seems like. So you can just go around. You can press the Alt from the keyboard, and you can see this part. Now, let's say, suppose you may ask, like, when we are sharing these all the things in our classroom, how we can get to know that whether our students are engaged on that area or not, whether they are working on that area properly or not. So for this, I have a small add-on for all of you, which you can include in LIT trip along with this area, in order to ask a certain questions to your students, and at the same time this will solve like whether everything is working proper, whether we are in our right track or not. So all those information will be there. So I'm just showing you one of the area, like this is the one, and I'm putting it 20, and you can see the table of content is already moved. So now let's say somewhere in the woods we have these all the things, and we want to draft one of the live questions, and then we want to ask to our student. So let's say suppose we want to give one questions to our student, like in Gateway Arch, what all information you have got, write it and share to all of the students area. So how we can give this instruction live, and as well as, let's say, those who might be watching it later. So what we can do is we can use a one function called talk and comment. So let's have a look. So dear viewer or dear students, you can give more information about Gateway Arch and write 2 points about it and give the detail of it. Thank you. So you can check, I have given a immediate live one of the kind of feedback, and you can check this voice note is over here. So this voice note you can include along with a particular what we have the LIT trip. So let me give you preview such that you have a good idea about it. Let's check. So dear viewer or dear students, you can give more information about Gateway Arts and write 2 points about it and give the detail of it. Thank you. So this link only we require to copy. Once you copied it, maybe in Google Classroom where you are giving a LIT trip, the same area you can define it as an assignment for English subject, or maybe for maths, or maybe for history, any subject, whichever area that fit. And there you can assign with the LIT trip this link, along with that your own voice. So what will happen? Those students who might be absent in classroom, they can match up, they can pair up on different time area. Fine, maybe let's say if online classroom is off, and maybe where the, let's say, blended learning is on and students are coming on campus, so they might have checked, but those students who are in online area, they might have not able to get the information. So with the help of this, you can cater both the students, or you can cater all your audience, those who are attending it live and those who are attending after the session or maybe recorded session. So this is a quick way we can interact, we can keep the things, and this format, all these type of the things can be entertained. So let us move click. Now you can check as per the storyline. See, we have an entire one showroom. So let us check on this street view area. We'll click on street view, and let's see, this is the street view area. So you can move a little bit, you can check how the street view look like. Basically a part of street view means is the aerial view, how the aerial view is look like on that area. And if you click on a 3D, so you will be have entire 3D view for your particular street view which you have selected it. So right now it is an aerial map, but you can check on my screen, as soon as I have clicked on 3D, it is right now rotating, or you can say in perspective view, it's showing the entire part in a 360 cam view. So this is a kind of, very innovative way to teach in our classroom, maybe interact with our students or audience. They can be connected with the subject more properly. They have more kind of interest, and they will be more get the information towards that particular thing what you are trying to explain in your classroom, or maybe in webinar, or maybe the any of the area. Now same way, for example, let's say suppose you want to keep it fly to your location, so if you click on that, it will be directly showing or moving towards your location area. Now same way we have over here, click to reset view, double click to swipe for the globe. So if we click to reset view, what will happen? It will be back to where we started our entire work. So same way you can check, if we click on 2D, it will show the entire aerial view. Like this way you can go around, can check where exactly the learner diner is there, entire information is given. And same way they have given media information. So if you click on it, the entire site where they have entire actual resource, that will be loaded over here. So you can see this is the picture which they took from this site. So actually they have given the credited to that particular site from where they took that picture. So this is the main motive of you can see the Google LIT trip. If you are publishing it, give a due credits to all the image holder. Whichever image you have taken, make sure you give a credit to them at the end. Then only if you are creating a successful Google LIT trip, that can be published on GLT store. And you can see after filling this volunteer form, maybe who knows, you're one of the GLT or the one of the kind of novel can be over here, which anyone can download a part of the area how the way we want it. And currently they have kept the territory wise, like you can see currently for US territories they have created these all. So maybe in future they may develop a lot of other things, and we can have more number of the things appearing on this area. Same way you have plenty of the others things which are over here, like you can check member registration, developer and contributor, like those who are working, those who are totally developing all the things. These all the part are available over here. Now one thing maybe you all can have a question, that is how you can search for titles or which all the books are available over here, because all books are not available. You will be shocked to know that in Google we have 25 billion books as a PDF, which no one can read. This is a certain facts which are kept certain area itself. But same format, these all the LIT trips also may be available. But if you don't get an access, you may not be able to show it to your class. So this is the way you have to short for the access. Once you get access, then you can show any of the LIT trip to your class. So this, if you click on alphabetical titles, you will be able to see all the titles are available over here. So you can see which are pretty much created from the creator side, and you will be able to see a name is given over there if it is created by a student, if it is created by anyone else. So I have zoomed my screen, you can check quickly wherever student has created their next to that it's mentioned like a student created LIT trip. If it is created by someone else, then that particular member name is there. Like you can see around the world in 80 days. So let us just check one more time, can we get access around the world in 80 days, if it is available or not. So for this what you require, click on a request LIT trip and you will get it. Same way, one thing you have, that is alphabetical LIT trip library title, and one is their alphabetical developer and contributor. So based on developer and contributor also you can search the books or novel or the LIT and then you can get it. So as I told you just now, let us check, can we get access for around the world in 80 days, can we get it or not. So let's quickly check, do we get the access for that. So we have only these many books. So maybe that book is not available. Let's check. We'll scroll down and see. Yes, you have certain things which are not available, because certain what all the trips are there, they keep it, but certain time they don't give the access permission. So instead of that, let us go to Odyssey and let's check whether we get access or not. So we will check in couple of minutes. Until that time I'm getting access, we can check rest of the part in our table of content. So you have lot of things to be explored in LIT trip area, and within 40 or 45 minutes you can cover a lot of things for your class if you have planned slightly 10 or 15 minutes before commencing of your class, because there you can request for the trip. Once the trip is over there, you can go ahead, check the part of the rest of the things, and if it adequate, you can show it to your class. But yes, always try the content what you are trying to show in your classroom or to the webinar, whether it is suitable for the target audience or not, because plenty of the area for the creativity, for the art, or for the culture, they may allow certain pictures which may not adequate, but yes, that may be part of the art and culture area, but a part of novel or book itself. Now let's check in street view. If you click next, you will be able to travel, you will be able to roam around the entire street. So this is pretty much the same way how we check our Google Earth or the map area, but only as per the character is moving the story, or as per in a story the character is moving one place to other, the same way it will be going to show in rest all. So you can check, there are a lot of area they have given all the things like myth of here mentioned, and at the same time you can see their YouTube video is also provided. So a lot of things are mentioned over here. These all the way you can do, you can create a lot of the things, and you can check whether a part of that requested LIT trip, what all the things are available or not. So you can see here state highway or national highway, they are all traveling through, and same format you have here the storyline which is moving ahead. So whatever LIT trip I have requested, let's check whether that is now appeared through the area or not. So you can see all sort of the, as per the character, wherever the character is going, based on that, they will be going to show, and they'll be going to, and certain area they will be blur the face of the particular members because they don't want to disclose, they here means the Google don't want to disclose any person's identity. So you can just check a certain characters or maybe the street view area, it will be blur or it will be not showing the complete detail of it. So you have here the arrows which you can click, and as per that you can go through. And here, as per the story, whatever the story, if you see here, Monte Carlo is mentioned. We pass Monte Carlo and the MGM. We pass Pyramid. So as per that, those all the MGM hotel and as well as Pyramid, all the things are kept over here for Los Angeles and Las Vegas. So here, as per character or as per the book area, how the things are moving ahead, based on that, everything is showing ahead. So you can see right now it's showing MGM Grand. So you can check this is the MGM Grand over here, and they have kept over here the story along with that the picture. Like we passed Monte Carlo and MGM, we passed Pyramid, a pirate ship. So everything is mentioned as per the storyline, and then there the entire credential is mentioned next to that area itself. So now let's move to the next area, showing now pyramid. So let's see. So for Las Vegas, it's showing the pyramid structure. If you want to zoom a little bit, it will be going to show the rest of the thing. So what all the part of the storyline is there. As per the storyline part only, the things will be mentioned here. Nothing extra or nothing less. Fine. So now let's move ahead. We have reached up to 30 number slide, and let's see, we have the pirate ship. So you can see whatever the during that time the thing happened, based on that this is the location Right now the location might be slightly differ, the ongoing development or maybe the what all the development is there. So it will show entire thing from the history point of view and as well as present point of view, how exactly in present environment everything is. So you can check everything is over here. So you have over here all the kind of information, so you can check these things like Statue of Liberty is given, so that is next to this area. So entire these parts are very easy and very simple. Only audience you need to take part. You need to do a certain research from your end, and a little bit. Once you go through the entire part, then it will look very easy for you, and you may be able to do the rest of the work. So as I have requested one of the LIT trip, let me see whether I have received the LIT trip or not. So again, you can check right now some of the LIT trip. Maybe if the particular license is not there, or maybe there is a content problem, so they may not be able to give you a particular that LIT trip. So let us just quickly check certain other book if it is available. So as they said, around the world in 80 days. Now it's available. Okay, I believe maybe it was previously also there, but somehow I missed it out. Let's check. Okay, now I'll just quickly refresh and see whether I've received email or not. So far, email is not there, but let me quickly show you the other part of the thing. Once I'll receive, then I'll show you. So almost we have covered everything for Google LIT trip. I hope audience, wherever if you have questions or doubt, you can get back to us or you can get back to me. Fine. And pretty much things, that's what the Google LIT trip is all about. And I'll be sharing the form, feedback form with all of you. You can fill the feedback form for a more enhancement and for further development purpose. So please make sure you can just give your feedback properly. So I'm just sharing the link and you can just fill the feedback form, and let me check in the meanwhile whether I have received. Okay, yes, I have received the LIT trip, so you can just check. This is the LIT trip which I have received for around the world in 80 days. So let's check. If I click over here, whether I get it. Yes, this is the area. So I can check. This is the area we have. So this part you can see, this is around the world in 80 days. If you click on present, you will be on this part area. Now, once you click next, you will be moving ahead the entire this novel part, entire this story part, where around the world in 80 days you can go around and you can walk through. So it is very simple and easy, which I have shown you just now. And within 2 minutes, you can get an entire access of the LIT trip. And as per the content of your class, if you feel best, you can do the rest of the things for your classroom. You can organize our entire LIG trip. Maybe you can share the links in your classroom slightly earlier, and then they can get the entire access. So I'll be going to share the entire slide for all of you as a read-only mode, such that everyone can access and get it. So let me just quickly make it share as a read-only access to all of the viewer. So I'm just sharing it with the read-only access, and this will be add-on for everyone. You can access this entire slide deck. Maybe you want to present or you want to go through in your classroom. You can also organize. You can do it, and you can utilize this resource. So this is a kind of slide deck which you can use it later on for organizing the LIT trip, and this is the way the entire part work. And one last thing I'll share in this area, like if you check on my screen, I have kept one of the picture, and along with that I kept myself appear. So if you want to know like how you want to make yourself appear, or let's say suppose if you're presenting your Google LIT trip and you want yourself to be appear over there, so for this I have created an entire one video and entire one of the content in my channel where I have explained how exactly the entire this thing can be get it done, where you can present along with you appearing on that area. So I'll just present the screen so that you can check and understand, like in this area you can appear along with your LIT trip and you can make our entire part more interactive. So I'll share the link of that video in the chat. You can check once again so that you can get more idea. You can scroll over there and you will be able to get a lot of the idea how exactly within the presentation time maybe you can appear, and it can be possible in live classroom. It's not like you have to record the entire thing and then you have to do it out. You can do it on runtime and you don't require any high graphics PC while you are on Google LIT trip. So this is a very simple way we can do the entire part, and it's very simple manner you can have any LIT trip where these all the things you can request first to the Google. Once the Google will give entire notification you will receive on your email, just like this way. Once you click on that, you will be able to launch and you will be able to run any of the LIT trip which are available on your location. As I have shown you in this area, certain LIT trip it's not available. You can see temporary unavailable. These files, after a certain time, what happened? Maybe if you check tomorrow, it may available depending upon location or depending upon the certain area. So we will be ending our session over here. So if you have any questions or doubt, you can ask or maybe you can write. And thank you so much all of you for joining on this webinar. It was really well for all of you to be interact. I can check certain comments also, but I'm not be able to interact right now on the comment area. But it was really nice to interact with all of you. It was a quite innovative session. I'm hopeful that you will be going to use the LIT trip in your classroom, and as well as you can record your lecture and you can keep it in any of the subject area. So with these all the words, I would like to once again give a huge round of thanks to Deepti Sani ma'am for providing me this opportunity to present in front of all of you, and a big thanks and kudos to Mahattattva for providing this entire platform. So from here, I will be signing off, and thank you so much all of you for attending the webinar.